Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back to Eldengate, a small community in the middle of nowhere in Foundation, and we continue right away because there really is a lot to do. The first thing of action is that we are immediately going to unlock us two more things that I would like to get going. The first one is village fortifications, and this one here gives me access to the guards that we're gonna need, and the other one is the Bailiff's office that gives me access to prospecting ore and minerals. Now, the watch post is a new building that we can now have in the manor house section all the way down here, a watch post, and it can be its own building more or less. So we could also have an extension here, of course, of the manor house, but I think I'm gonna reserve this for the treasury and the bailiff then. So I'd rather have an extra building somewhere here in the center of Eldengate. Once again, close to the market, where we have kind of like the sheriff's office for the whole city. And of course, as always, we're starting once again with something rather small and basic. We could add then more to have more watchmen. This already though has a capacity of 4 watchmen, sorry. And yeah, we could have another small cute tower somewhere here. I think this is not looking so bad. And I would have a capacity of 8 now. 41 planks, yeah, actually. Let's do it. Let's have it right over here and get this one on its way. For the next constructions we're gonna have, I'm gonna need another building. One that we already have, and in fact it was the very first building that we had, and that's the Builder's Workshop. Having a second one is mandatory at this point because we basically do need the workforce. So I'm gonna place this one right beside my other one. We're gonna assign 3 more peeps to that, and with that double any construction that we have right now. And construction, we have a lot ahead of us because, as I said, we want to also start now, moving a bunch of my industrial buildings. So the sawmill is gonna get over here, closer to the stone area now that we have. And we're gonna, in fact, double the plank production by adding, well, a second sawmill here to the area. And we could just make it so, probably. I think, as long as we have the accesses here, this should work out, despite them blocking each other a bit. Or we just have 2 of them together here. There you go. I like this as well. This is also fine. Then we have the Stonemason hut. For the Stonemason hut, in fact, there is a new improvement that we can get going. This is, however, 100 coin, but I would still like to go ahead with it, since money is not my biggest issue right now. And let's move the Stonemason camp also now a bit further over here into this stone area. And you know what, we're gonna have a quarry there at some point for sure, because there's a deposit. So let's have this one here right next to it. And what we can also do is we can now add these improvements here. That would be, for example, a carving tent. This doubles, actually triples the workforce that we have available from 1 to 3, right, with one of those tents here. We can also go ahead with some stone racks. I could have them here in the back, as they only one is allowed, as they increase the total amount of stone that we can have in here, and a carving table to have an even 4th workforce that we can also have here. And all of that comes together then with a nice campfire just here by the road, coming together like this, giving me access to even more workforce. All of this consumes wood, which is great because we have way too much wood rolling right now. Next, the watch post is coming along. And in this case here, what we can do with that is we can now add the patrollers or the watchmen. I think it's both of them, in fact. This one here adds active fortification, and this one here adds the patrol area. So I'm gonna start with that, and we're gonna probably go with, let's say 4 patrollers, right? And we can now assign a patrol area where they're patrolling them. And of course, in the neighborhoods primarily. So there's those guys here. Then we have those guys here. It's a different area than the fortification that we have, right? It's the patrol area that we're defining now. And yeah, pretty sure that 7 will not be enough. And then we have them up here. Very good. I think it doesn't really give you a bonus in a market area. So I'm not gonna do this just now. Merge this together here, since this is all gonna be one giant neighborhood anyway. Then up there. Fantastic. And what this is doing is now it's fulfilling another demand in my residential area. So far we have reached medium quality housing thanks to having commoners and a beautification area close by. And what it does now is we're gonna go into medium density housing, which is another part to increase the amount of houses we can have in an area, because right now we have lots of green space in between, despite all of this being a neighborhood area. So we can increase the density of the housing by adding light fortification and patrol coverage. Patrol coverage should now be fulfilled once the patrollers are going through the neighborhood regularly. So we will need to check this one all the time, basically, to make sure that we always have enough coverage. Look how this area here is opening up now. That's good. That's very good for us. With now 2 main roads coming up here, and these patches here will disappear again very shortly. Once again, they want wood. Now, here's the problem. I'm gonna need a lot of wood for what we have. So I'm going to discuss a better deal. No, we lose coins, but we have a lot of coins. Let's go ahead and do this. And now we get 300 coin out of the wood. So I would like to go ahead with this. In fact, we're using a lumber camp here right now, fully staffed. And despite all of this, we do not have enough wood. So either we increase that camp size or we build a second camp somewhere. As a matter of fact, I'm going to build a second camp that is a bit smaller on this side here, because we got lots of forest here, right, where the city wants to expand at some point. So it makes sense to me to have this one. And let's have it here by my charcoal burner, have them together right up here, where we can then cut down more wood. My next area is right away the storage improvement to add additional storage space to warehouses. And with that, we can now increase the size of our current warehouse that we have with additional warehouse depots that we can use to have even more goods stored here. So I would like to add another one. I mean, it doesn't give you more work space though, right? So it's still the same amount of people delivering the resources back and forth for one of them. I would still like to go ahead and have at least one here in the back, just behind my iron smelter. And we might consider then adding a second warehouse in total over here, right? That we have then a central space for everything that we want to store in this game. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and do this, and we could then have also this depot here as well, right, for that warehouse. With that depot here built, we can now assign more resources to this whole area here. Something like, for example, common clothes, because right now we are sitting at 60 common clothes, and that's the maximum storage that my tailor can have. So my tailor is full right now, and in that case, we definitely want to store more of that than possible. Very good, we can turn in the quest, and here we get the next problem right away, and that is money. We're at the limit of what's possible for us right now, 500. So I'm gonna increase now the size of my territory once more, especially where we do have some hunting grounds possible. So this is one, and this we're already using. Yeah, that's a bit far away now. So I'm considering going into this area now for my next one. There you go. And now we can have even more hunting here in the back of it. Probably add even another hunter hut to this whole area then here. Because one thing I notice is that meat is going down. However, it's the only refined food we have right now. So this is another plan that we should fill. And that is adding a second type of food, of refined food that is. Now, the next warehouse is finished. I'm not going to staff this one just yet. I just want to build it so that we have the area reserved. And as you can also see in taxes, we're making a lot of money right now, 70 per month. That is more than my upkeep and my maintenance upkeep is. So with the taxes alone, we can already afford the whole village right now. And with trade and quests, we're getting an additional coin in so that we have something to invest. Of course, we can also always raise levies as long as my happiness stays around 80%. That is fine. Onwards to the Bailiff that we have unlocked now, and that I still want to get going and building. And we can have now the Bailiff's office. And this is going to be, for me, another tower here in my manor house. So we could either, once again, oh, this is actually a pretty big tower. Gonna get rid of this again. I'd rather have a smaller one. Could we have it like so? This is also not looking so bad. I could have it over here. Or over here. I love myself some towers, so let's go ahead and apply the tower right here in the back. And we still have this area here as an expansion that I'm probably going to use then for a treasury area or something like that. Next, on to my probably biggest construction so far, and that is a proper wall. We do have this one unlocked now. Right over here is the village fortification area, and here we can now add a wall around my city. And the advantage is that everything within that wall receives the light fortification bonus right away. That is the passive light fortification that we can then upgrade to a stone wall to get heavy fortification out of that. Of course, those rocks here offer a good opportunity of starting with that. So this is the inner wall, right? If we advance the city far enough, we might even go for an outer wall at some point too. The most important thing here that we need to check ASAP is if it's looking into the right direction. And to me, it's looking right. It's looking right. And we're gonna make this one now over here, just along my forest area. Cutting into those trees then here. Coming into the beach area. And here's the question now. Do we want to have this one into the ocean? Or do we want to actually go all around here? I think we're going to all around here. Cutting into the ocean is not very realistic. So I'm just going to have my wall now extending over here. Along the beach. But not quite on the beach. Actually, that we have a building, I'm surprised. That far into the forest area. Let's take the iron here with us. Because we can. And then I'm gonna move all around here. Look at that cost. It's gonna be fun. Here we still have something. We still have another iron deposit here that I would like to use. There you go. Here, I'm actually going to get rid of this again, and we are gonna move it over here. Right, so these are outside. I think? Yeah. These will be outside. Then we're probably gonna move right here into my... okay, there's gonna be the quarry, so this is actually a bit of a problem. I'm gonna move the nodes up and get the charcoal kiln in. Don't forget the charcoal kiln will be moved again at some point, right? So... to me, it makes sense to here. Then we're kind of like cutting once again here into my stone. And look at that. What happens now is that everything here inside is going to receive the bonus then. It's a pretty big wall. It's going to cost me 500 logs. And we're still going to need to add, of course, also gates. And we're going to have a gate here then as an entry point. I will actually need to make this one a bit straighten. There you go. Fantastic. You're looking in the right direction right now. It's not. There you go. Of course, we're going to need to add those gates to any kind of opening that we have. Here we have a road right now. But who's to say that this road is the final one? We could also have a bigger gate than here. The Stone Gatehouse, that's, I think, the new updated one that we have. I like this one. Okay. That's a bit of stone. So no problem. Let's add a proper gate then here. And then also, of course, we need to have some exits here. And another one over here for the hunter. Very good. And I think it's not looking so bad right now as my first wall of defense. Probably gonna add me another one here as well. On this road there already. There you go. Let's build it. Gonna take some time. Quite a bit so too. We have now 2 builder huts, so they're gonna both work on this tirelessly. We have the workforce though, so I'm gonna add me another builder hut. So that we have builder workshop, so that we have 9 now. So 3 teams in total getting this done. In the meantime, also, the manor house here has expanded now with the Bailiff's office. So we're gonna assign now someone to that, and we can choose Rabanus, Cataldo, and Erlechin. And job learning speed is increased, training speed, job learning. Okay, both of them have the job learning, both of them cost the same. Let's go with him. And now we have a Bailiff happiness bonus of 10% for villagers with a villager profile. We get, because that's a milestone. And what we can do now is, we can go into my mandate and start prospecting, thanks to my Bailiff. So we do have the first ones here already, cost me 100 coin. Let's start. Now we're gonna find out what's behind this one. I'm also continuing to cut away some trees over here. And this is still within the wall then, so I hope there's some buildings coming up. And of course, one way of increasing the available living space that we have now is upgrading those houses, right? So instead of going wide, we are now trying to go tall within those city walls that we are gonna have. And how are the city walls looking in general? Well, they're coming along, and there's already 200 wood almost in out of the 540 that we need. Tools and the stones are already completed. That was to be expected. Wood is going to be the primary thing. So for this, we're going to cut away the forests. And here, we do have another woodcutter. They're right now, yep, finished cutting this area. So I might consider now also getting me... Wait a second, this area here. That up here is nice. That one we have. Yeah, let's get this area there. There you go. And start cutting it away. This is all gonna be open space towards that lake over there. As we will also need lots of open space for farming soon. I love how the wall progresses. 9 builders doing a good job for it. There's a bit more neighborhood space now here that I would like to fill. Just along these walls. There you go. Also, before I even notice it, we're out of meat. We had over 100 meat. That was really fast. And it went within a couple of minutes now. The main problem was that there wasn't a second butcher. And now we still need to get more hunting grounds though, right? That would be here. I'm at the moment in the process of actually cutting this one here away, this forest here more and more. So this hunting ground will not exist that much longer. So we will need to find for a third hut, right? We have this area here, of course. That's one hut. Then we have a second hut. So we'll still need... it's tricky. There is even more hunting ground up here. So buying me this territory is probably a sensible thing to do. Let's do this and get me my next hunter going. So for this, I'm gonna need a hunter once again out here. There's the gate. We can have it here. There you go. And we're gonna establish this one here as my next hunting area. The game is really not kind to me here. These territories are very small. There you go. Good hunting. And I will need a second butcher. All of this. And I'm inclined to go with a butcher out here, actually. Rather than having it on the other side of my town now. So having one here. We do have the hunter there. Add this one here. Would not make such a difference here to these houses there. Especially once I start adding also some decorations. Was also very expensive. We have reached 100 prosperity now. And they seem to be quite happy now with how this goes. So the butcher shouldn't make that much of a difference. Boy, we really need to cut away more wood here. Very hard to build something if you can't see. Let's tax my people again. Oh, 3 commoners might leave the village with this effect. 246. We get almost 300 coins, so I'm still gonna do this. Despite that we might lose some commoners, we can always just upgrade a few more. but I need that money. So that we can also start with the farming now. That's another 50 coin. And the decorations also cost me 100 coin. And with that, we can now start in this newly bought territory. Over here and over here, we can start with the first wheat farms. In that case, this here is going to be cut away, right? So I'm going to plant my wheat farm somewhere here, as this one here should be another sheep farm, just in case we... I still also need to add more decorations to this area here, as those people are definitely desperate for it. Let's just see what we have. We do have a bunch of new things there, but I think beside the fountain, there's really not that much coming out of it. Yeah, some benches also along the path here especially are nice for additional decoration. Wool for the king. Oh, that sounds good. 150 wool. That's not good. We got 50 right now. And I'm gonna say not interested because you get a time limit, and if you don't fulfill that, you're getting a penalty. However, I can see that my sheep farm is rather full, so we might add wool for the future together with cloth here. Right, and I get rid of this wood there. Then we have room for one more assignment. It's probably gonna be the polished stone here. And we found iron ore on this one. That's what my bailiff found. Not bad. It's okay, I'd say. I think we have another one over there. So let's get the bailiff out there again and prospect this one for another 100 coin. Find out what's there. Upgrade-wise, for the villagers, patrollers also prefer an upgrade. The patrollers, so we do have a lot of them. The tailors would prefer this, but we have enough clothing for now. A taverner, I could upgrade as well. And anyone else? The weaver, the village priest. The elders value your fair influence. They've invited traders from the labor estate to allocate more resources, sweetening trade opportunities with you temporarily. Okay, thank you very much. By the way, we're still not building that butchery here. Oh, okay, stone is missing. For that wall, how much further? Yeah, in the finishing line. It's 50 more wood that we need. Then we're done. It's really just this section here. And then we're done with the greatest construction so far. And the wall is finished, and with that, all the houses now get the light fortification bonus. So if they're also getting the coverage bonus, then they can upgrade to a medium density housing, which should be happening in some cases already. There's one, but it's not upgrading just yet. I think we really need more patrols. Did not expect this. Yeah, the patrol area is too large for the ones that we have right now. So we might need to also once again upgrade my watch post to add a few more people to it. And we're now a town. Thanks to having reached enough people. So this adds me 4 more that we can add then as well here. I could get the title Elder now. I rather not. And we found stone as the next one. This is just really good. So we get iron and stone now within the city walls. And what we can do with that, of course, is that we can completely independently produce this endlessly out of these deposits then here. I would have loved some gold. That would have been great. Or marble. But it's what I take. There's so many upgrades now through all the neighborhoods that we are out of planks for good. So I've added a second sawmill now. That is also going to be fully employed now. Oh, actually, I'm missing something. Now, the wall is finished, so I do not need 3 builder workshops anymore. So I'm going to get rid of 1 and add those people then right away to the sawmill. So we got 2 of them now working fully right over here, producing me all the planks that I'm going to need. Now, all these upgrades are nice, but at the core economy, we also face an issue, and that is that we are running out of food. So we have the fish, we have the berries, but for refined food, we're still seeing it only 25 meat, though it's recovering a bit, but we need really a second type of refined food to get the happiness up there. Or we have the penalty already that is climbing now. So refined food shortage and refined food in needs, both of them add up to -10 happiness. Let's go ahead and try and solve this with the wheat farm. That's a lot of planks that we're gonna need again. And the wheat farm just outside here will be able to do at least one of those issues. So let's get this one going somewhere here. And once this is built, we can then assign a farm around that to start producing some wheat for us. Beside that, we're going to need the windmill. So the windmill is probably something I'm also going to have a bit further outside. We could, in fact, have it right next to the farm somewhere. And after that, we do need the bakery still. That produces then the bread. And for this, we have plenty of space available. The bakery is something that does not cause pollution. Quite the opposite, I think. Causes nice smells. And I would like to have the bakery really central. So we have this plot here available still, where we can add some buildings. So let's give a bit of a distance to everything. Right, and somewhere here, we should have then the bakery, I think. Get this going. So we have then a path here, the path here, and then we can have another building right in this plot. Beside that, I would like to also start working now on my church that we have over here. It's really needed at this point. So let's go ahead and also assign, or enlarge in this one here with some more roofs, or some more rooms, sorry, that we can add. So we could make a nice cross out of this one now. Something like that, and adding a second one on the other side. Would give me plus 48 on the capacity. I think it's plus 16, 18 that we get out of this. And I could even have another one here in the back. Make this even larger now. Very good. And that, of course, is just another expansion again. Because outside of that, we could also add some more towers now in the next expansions then. But that's 72 capacity. I don't quite believe it. I think it's plus 24. We'll just see, because I'm a bit confused at what this means. The size is increasing by 24, but the capacity is increasing by 72 or up to 72. We'll just see how that works. Yeah, that's that. It looks a bit naked though, so we could still add something to it. And we could also add some decorations here to that church. And this one is way too close, of course. So there's also a tool that we have available to make sure that people do not walk that closely at the church. And I'm probably not going to add too many ornaments here yet, because we're going to have another expansion of the church soon. So for me, I mean, having a fence might work. That we have then somewhere here. Oh, that's going to be quite expensive. There you go. Because the cool thing is we can then add some graveyards, for example. Stone graveyards here. We got plenty of stone. That we have a little cemetery here in the back of it. Righto, and then some trees in between. Gonna be more expensive already. I think we need to get rid of the trees right now. They're the most expensive thing here. 190, 170. Oh, come on, the bench. Okay, without the bench and the trees, we can afford this. This gives me enough points as well to upgrade my clergy tree now. And as you can see now, here is the path, right? So they should then diverge here. We could also say a forbidden path here, right? So this here is not accessible, please. Do not walk this one. I don't want to have any paths appearing here around the church. And they should, there it is, create a new path then as well. and this one here will disappear over time again. Very good. We also have the wheat farm. Let's assign someone to that and start painting us some crop fields here. This will already be adequately sized now. Might even be too large. Yeah, it's too large. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here a bit. This is adequately sized now. The cool thing is, the church hasn't been finished yet, but... Oh no, actually not. That was my mistake. It's still at the 30 capacity. 43 planks, that's gonna take some time. But the cool thing is we do get the points right away. So with that, we could open up a monastery now together with the beekeeping, which is just a very nice way of making money. Now, when it comes to money, I should make new ways of money. And in that case here, we got 2 more trade routes that we can open. The first one here would give me 2 coin for the cloth, for the clothing that we have. And they would even purchase some polished stone. So I'm gonna go with Trotbury here. Even the middle would give me alliance with the, or allied with the clergy, so influence with them. But I'd rather go with these guys here. So we can open up now some kind of trading with common clothes. So I'm gonna sell this one whenever we're above, let's say 80, right? We have 110 right now, so this is gonna work out. And then we can say the same thing about the polished stone here. So I'm gonna sell everything above also 80 once again, which should lead to a bit of additional income now. Yeah, those constructions are gonna take a long time, as there's so many neighborhoods that want to upgrade right now. As you can also see, there's lots of additional space coming out of this, right? So these housing upgrades will be very nice for us and will push us further with Eldengate. I hope you enjoyed this one so far. We got the gates now, finally, fitting for the village. Next, we would like to organize a bit more the pathing in here. Make the market bigger, wait for the church to finish, right? And add some advanced industries then. I hope you enjoyed this one with Foundation. I think this is a nice point to wrap it up, and I'm just gonna see how successful these videos are before I continue then with making this. But it's an amazing game. Stay tuned.